Prabhaji, do we want to start with the presentation first or take a...
We can do that. Thank you for reminding. So 1 second, let me quickly put the link here for you guys. नमो अरिहन्ताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्याणं नमो उवज्जायाणं नमो लोये सव्वसाहुणं. Jai Jinendra, everybody. So I think we finished most summaries except Arunji's one, and some people were going to decide if they wanted, if they write more detail, they could again present. So that part we'll leave it up to people how they want to do it. But let's first take Arunji's second bhavna, and then we'll decide on the rest of it. And
Sure.
then we'll do the second adhikar of the Dravya Sangraha.
Excellent. So I'm going to talk about Ashuchi Bhavana. So Ashuchi Bhavana mein primarily it's basically talking about the fact कि देह जो शरीर है वो शुद्ध नहीं है, मलिन है. I mean, the text which I was reading, it says it's comprises of mal, मूत्र, खून, मांस, पीत, चर्बी, and एक जड़ रूप है. पर इस देह में भगवान आत्मा रहती है जो निर्मल है. तो इवेंचुअल ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ दिस भावना इज टू ड्राइव अस टुवर्ड्स फैक्ट कि भगवान आत्मा की साधना जरूरी है, उससे राग लगाना जरूरी है, देह से राग लगाना जरूरी नहीं है, उससे अलग होना है. उनका कहना है कि अशुचि देह से क्या प्रेम करना. आई मीन, व्हाई डू वी वांट टू हैव एनी अटैचमेंट्स टू दिस देह व्हिच इज नॉट प्योर. Then it cites something from Pandit Jayachand Chhabra ji. He says आत्मा निर्मल है, देह पवित्र है, अतः देह से स्नेह छोड़ के आत्मा का ध्यान करो. देह में also they've actually made a couple of distinctions, swadeha and pardeha, your own body and somebody else's body. And we typically tend to have anurag towards both, अपनी देह के प्रति और दूसरी देह के प्रति भी. तो कहते हैं कि अशुचि भावना का चिंतन स्वदेह और परदेह और उनसे संबंधित सभी भोगों से विरक्त होना है. दैट इज द एम ऑफ अशुचि भावना. तो हमने क्या कर रखा है, हमने देह और उससे संबंधित पदार्थों से द वर्ड्स दे यूज एकत्व, ममत्व और अनुराग बना रखा है, और उसी में ही सुख दुख की कल्पना कर रखी है, उसी से जोड़ रखा. इसी से हमारा जो राग है वो इसी से बना हुआ है. राग का सृजन इससे हुआ है. गुड बिट ऑफ इट कम्स फ्रॉम देयर. तो कहते हैं कि देह की अशुद्धता का चिंतन करने से देह के प्रति एकत्व, ममत्व, अनुराग का क्षमन होता है और भगवान आत्मा की तरफ रुझान बढ़ता है, और मिथ्या दृष्टि धीरे धीरे खत्म होके सम्यक दर्शन और सम्यक ज्ञान आता है. इसमें एक चीज और बताइए कि इसमें थोड़ा कॉशन की भी जरूरत है कि इसमें अस्थिरता रहती है. आई मीन, इट एक्नॉलेजेस दैट दिस इज नॉट अ वेरी स्टेबल प्रोसेस, यू कैन गो बैक एंड फोर्थ. सो धीरे धीरे इसको करना, स्ट्रेंथन करने की जरूरत है. और ये अस्थिरता ज्ञानियों को भी हो जाती है, ज्ञानी व्यक्तियों को भी हो जाती है. मतलब यू गो बैक,
जरूरत पड़ती है कंटेम्पलेशन की.
कंटेम्पलेशन, कांस्टेंट कंटेम्पलेशन इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दैट रीजन.
जीव नेचुरली गोज टुवर्ड्स द मोह जिसकी उसको अनादि से आदत है.
बिल्कुल. So idea is to make it stronger slowly so that it takes over. के फायदे क्या है कि इससे आत्मा की निर्विकल समाधि भी हो सकती है अगर इसको हम पूरा उस पर ध्यान दें. पर जोर कम पड़ने पे समाधि भंग भी हो सकती है. So that is the back and forth they talk about. They say this back and forth happens more in fourth and fifth गुण स्थान. मुनि अवस्था
Mm-hmm.
में ये कम होता है.
Okay, very good.
उसमें फिर ये भी बोलते हैं कि धीरे धीरे चारित्र मोह भी क्षीण होता है इससे.
Hmm.
और आत्मा अनंत काल के लिए अपने में समा सकती है और अनंत काल तक सुख भोग सकती है.
Hmm.
तो इसका मेन संक्षेप में, दिस इज अशुचि भावना फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू.
Okay, good job. तो हाँ, आपने काफी ब्रीफ में बता दिया, विच इज ओके. तो थोड़ा सा हम इसको और विचार करते हैं
जी.
कि क्यों आत्मा को शुचि मतलब क्लीन कहा और देह को अशुचि कहा. ओके. तो यहाँ शुचि और अशुचि मतलब व्यवहार दृष्टि से ऐसे गंदपने को और बॉडी के एक्सक्रीटा वो सब बहुत बताते हैं, बट इन रियलिटी शुचि और अशुचि हैज टू डू विद प्योरिटी ऑफ गुण वर्सेस इम्प्योरिटी. आत्मा में अनंत गुण है, पर मुख्य रूप से समझो हम ज्ञान गुण, श्रद्धा गुण, चारित्र गुण और इतने सारे गुण, राइट. नाउ, राइट नाउ वी आर इन द विभाव, unnatural state of all of our गुण. ऑल नहीं कहना चाहिए, एक्चुअली सम. कई गुण तो अपने स्वभाव स्टेट में ही रहते हैं, जो हमें दिखते हैं वो विभाव में चले जाते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ, फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल, पानी है. पानी की नेचुरल स्टेट क्या है?
लिक्विड.
कोल्ड.
रूम टेम्परेचर, जो टेम्परेचर है वो, राइट. तो उससे गर्म पे रख दो, गर्म हो जाएगा. तो वो क्या हुई उसकी?
स्थिति चेंज्ड इन
विभाव, अननेचुरल स्टेट. तो उस अननेचुरल स्टेट को यहां अशुचि कहा. ठीक है. तो शरीर भी हमारा क्या है? अभी आप आत्मा की पर्याय से समझो है, उन इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट, इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट. शरीर कब मिलेगा हमें? जब हम
बब.
आत्मा की
या.
अननेचुरल स्टेट में है,
हम्म.
राइट. सो थिंक ऑफ दिस एज पानी को गर्म रखा. जैसे हमें कुछ सर्कमस्टेंसेस ऐसे मिलते हैं जिससे हमें क्रोध आ जाता है, जैसे कि दैट्स लाइक अ विभाव ऑफ, विभाव पर्याय ऑफ अशुभ कर्म. क्योंकि क्रोध आया तो अशुभ का बंद होगा. फिर समझो उसको फ्रीजर या फ्रिज में रख दिया. हम्म? हम शांत हो गए, मंद कशाई हो गए. तो क्या करेंगे हम? शुभ कर्म करेंगे. एंड व्हाट इज आवर गोल? गोल इज नॉट टू बी शुभ और अशुभ. शुभ और अशुभ तो दोनों क्या कर रहे हैं हमारे लिए?
शुद्ध शुद्ध
शुद्ध इज
संसार.
आवर गोल. एंड शुभ एंड अशुभ आर बोथ कीपिंग अस इन संसार. ठीक है. नाउ यस, एज अपोज टू अशुभ, यू वुड वांट टू डू शुभ कर्म, है ना, ताकि एटलीस्ट उसके फल बेटर आएंगे, विच विल होपफुली बी निमित्त इन बेटरमेंट. बट जरूरी नहीं है, क्योंकि नरक में भी सम्यक दर्शन हो जाता है. सो इन दैट रिस्पेक्ट, ये जो अशुचि भावना बता रही है कि आत्मा सबसे शुचि है, मतलब सबसे क्लीन, सब अपनी नेचुरल स्टेट में है. तो दैट इज योर गोल, दैट इज योर टारगेट, टू बी इन माई प्योर सोल. एंड इफ आई हैव द बॉडी, body is impure state of my soul. So that is the contemplation, that how do I reach to my swabhav, to my natural state. है ना. अ, उसके चलो पानी का तो एक पर का एग्जाम्पल हो गया. अपने खुद का सोच लो एग्जाम्पल. आप वेकेशन चले जाओ, 4 महीने घूम लो, 6 महीने घूम लो. इवेंचुअली लोगों को विश्राम कहाँ मिलता है?
घर पर ही.
घर पे.
अपने घर पे आके, है ना. तो जो आत्मा का स्वभाव है वो आपका अल्टीमेट घर है,
Natural state.
वहां मन पावे विश्राम। क्योंकि बाकी तो जब तक आप संसार में हो, यू कैनॉट अवॉइड आकुलता व्याकुलता, whether it is for positive circumstances or negative circumstances. In either case, there is some level of stress always there. तो समझो किसी की बर्थडे पार्टी हो रही है, वेडिंग हो रही है, people are happy occasion. Does it come with stress?
No.
Yeah.
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 No. Stress is full. In fact, the more stress is during this time.
I didn't catch what you're saying.
No, so during wedding or whatever birthday party, you have more stress, right?
That's
To make
exactly
sure
what
that
I'm saying. But
everything is proper and all.
बाहर से क्या दिखता है, कितने खुश हैं, इनके घर में कितना अच्छा प्रसंग है, राइट?
Correct.
पर वो भी आकुलता के बिना नहीं होता. So the point the acharyas are trying to prove is that जब तक संसार में रहोगे, इस आकुल व्याकुलता से छूटना बहुत मुश्किल है. आपकी आत्मा की नेचुरल स्टेट में ही विश्राम है. और या फिर जो जैन प्रिंसिपल से जीना is like trying to go towards a stress-free life. मुनिराजों के भी कुछ थोड़े स्ट्रेस होते हैं, but much less than us, right? और मुनिराज की भूमिका तो चलो अलग है, पर चलो अब भी आपकी भूमिका में भी अगर आप कंटेम्पलेट करो इन चीजों पे, तो any of the principles you pick up and you contemplate on them, they should help you release your stress. Right? So, in fact, yeah, I gave this example when we were in Toronto, we were with our kids, right? So there's always something can happen, you don't disagree with certain thing, kahin jaane ka time, whatever it is. And you can be a little irritated, agitated with the kids, right? So that day I had my morning class also. So kuch hua, and then, I did my 1 hour morning class. And guess what? All of a sudden, I realized after the class, something that the kids did was bothering me. All of a sudden, it's not bothering me anymore. I'm just absolutely fine. I'm normal, no problem. So, so I was like, ये stress free होने का मार्ग है. So, so because obviously when I'm talking about these principles to you, I'm also listening, right? So भाषा वर्गणा
Correct.
चल रही है, तो मैं भी तो सुन रही हूँ. तो ऐसे होता है. So, anyway, so चलो, we'll open the books for द्वितीय अधिकार. Bahubali ji, are you going to share? Somebody else
Yeah.
wants to share?
We were on 28, right? Over you only put the
We
message.
are going to be
We
on
have to start
28.
28.
In the Hindi book, it says Dvitiya Adhikar. I understand in the English one, they did not separate them, but that's okay. In the Hindi version, it is saying Dvitiya Adhikar Ashrav Adi Padarthon ka Varnan.
So this is
Padarth,
tattvas, right? All tattvas now.
exactly.
This chapter.
Yes. Now, in Digambar Parampara, I know in Shwetambar they say no tattva, right? In the Gambar, somehow they say sat tattva and no padarth. That's just, they're all one and the same thing because ashrav includes a punya and pap. So either way, it doesn't matter. So,
Padarth means substance, right?
right. But
But why
they,
9 substances? Ashtavana are not
so
substances.
padarth may not mean substances. Let's think, why do
Because
they
in
say?
general language, we use padarth for that only, no? Wo
So
padarth
then what
leke
will be
aao.
dravya? Dravya is substance.
Dravya is definitely substance, but okay.
Mm.
Padarth.
Let's read. Maybe we'll come to a better, answer for this, that why they separate the padarth word compared to tattva word. So, okay. So you want to start, Amitji?
Sure.
Go ahead. Start. Okay.
आसव बंधन संवर निजर मोक्ष सपुन पावचे जीव जीवा विशेष तेवी समसेन पबनमो पदापत जे those sapunna pava with punya and pap asav bandhan samvar nijra moksha Ashwabandh, Sambar, Nirjara, and Moksh, uh, Jiva, Jivesas, varieties of Jiva and Ajiv, Tevi, those also, Samasen, briefly, Pabanamo, say, can you scroll? We shall briefly describe those varieties of Jiva and Ajiv also which are known as Ashrav, Bandh, Samvar, Nirjar, and Moksh with Punya and Pa.
Since this commentary is very small, go ahead and read it.
Okay, but at the top, why are you saying varieties of varieties of Jeev and Ajiv also which are known as Ashrav, Bandh? They are not varieties, right?
Let's see, because they may talk about where jivas are found and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, okay, now substance, we said, okay, dravya, right? You're right, padarth kind of can be substance, but these are substances that can be experienced. You can experience the ashrav, bandh, samvar, those create experiences for you. So in that sense, there's that slight difference. Now, tattva is fundamental truths. So when we say ashrav ka punya ashrav and pap ashrav, so you are creating punya ashrav and pap ashrav by your reactions. So kind of that's the difference they're talking about when they say tattva versus padartha.
Okay.
So,
Commentary.
mhm.
The author now takes up the subject of Ashrav, Bandh, Sambar, Nirjara, Moksh, Punya, and Pap. These seven are commonly known as the seven tattvas of Jainism. Adding Jeev and Ajiv to this, we get the nine tattvas of Jainism. Each of these seven will be taken up and discussed one by one in verses 29 to 38. So I think they're saying that nine if you add Jeev and Ajiv.
Wait. So what are the other seven?
No, 9 if you add Pap
Ashrav,
and
Bandh,
Punya.
Samvar, Nirjar, Moksh, Punya, and Pap. Punya and Pap they're
Oh,
considering
they
as
did separate
the
punya and
seven
pap.
only.
Fine.
So
Okay.
that's common seven, and you add two more becomes nine.
That's interesting.
We have never heard it this way,
Yeah,
right? We have always heard
normally it is
Jeev,
Jeev, Ajiv,
Ashrav,
Ashrav,
Bandh,
Bandh,
Samvar,
Sambar,
Nirjar, Moksh.
Nirjara, and Moksh, 7. And
Correct.
when you say 9, you say Ashrav, then Punya Pap, because you're kind of dividing the Ashrav in two, and then saying Bandh, Sambar, Nirjara, Moksh. So I've not usually seen
These first seven are the states of the Jiva and Ajiva. They're like the combination. It's Jiva and Ajiva two, and then these are the variations.
these are the paryaya of
Paryayas
Jiva.
of those
Right,
two.
exactly. Okay, fine.
Why would it be a state of Ajiv?
I don't know how to
Is
say.
from a
Actually, it's
Pudgal
not. It
standpoint?
is only state of Jeev because Ajiv doesn't have Ashrav, Bandh, Sambar, Nirjara.
There is a
Yeah,
Dravya
never
Bandha,
heard of
Dravya
it.
Asrava, Dravya Nirjara, Dravya Samara.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Like when
Not
you
on
like
that.
Papa Karma, so
Right. So what Bahubali is trying to
What is
say
cookie
is
doing?
that when this Dravya Ashrav and any of this happens, then that Pudgal matter, Ajiv,
yeah.
is involved.
So there
Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's continue. Maybe it'll clarify some more. Somebody's talking in the background.
Yeah.
No, I think Viraj, you're not on mute.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No problem.
Okay. Asavadi Jaina Kamam Parinaman Napano Sa Vino Bhavasano Jinuto Kammasavadam Parohodi Padapat Appano of the soul Jena that Parinaman modification Kammam karma Asavadi gets in Sa that Jinuto called by the jinn Bhavasavo Bhavasrava Vineo to be known Kamasavanam
That Bhav we were saying is Bhav Ashrav. Okay, yeah. No problem.
Bhavasra,
Bhavasavo is Bhavashrav.
Bhavasra.
Right. Bhavasra.
Right.
It's a bhava karma kind of, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Bhav Ashrav. Yeah. Kamasavanam in influx of karmas. Paro, the next. Hodi is that modification of the soul by which karma gets into it is to be known as Bhav Ashrav, as told by the jinn. And the other kind of ashrav is the influx of karma. Other kind of ashrav.
There are two things happens, correct, here. The one is bhava, changes in the bhava. Other one is actual karma, that influx of karma.
Bhav Ashrav is
Bhav
the
and Dravya.
reaction
Dravya karma, bhava karma.
that attracts Rag Dvesh is Bhav Ashrav. The physical karma particles getting a kshetra avga with your soul is the Dravya Ashrav.
The second part is the Dravya ashrav.
Dravya karma, yeah.
Dravya karma.
Yeah.
So the one thing I noticed is in this book, they not only I read the first few slokas, the commentary. Like for example, Jiva, what are its gunas and so far, correct? It is Swadeya Parimana and it is Upayoga and it is doer and it is Urdhva Gamana. See, like those, it good tells the guna. Not only it explains that these are the gunas, it also explains in other religions, like in Buddhism, soul is temporary. In
okay, then maybe we should read that. Let's
so in Charvak, it is
good idea.
not exist. In
Yeah.
Vedantic, soul only exists in the heart space, but in Jainism, soul is in the Swadeya Parmana, full body, and it is like that. It explains and then it compares with
try
other
to do
religion.
a quick read because honestly, we don't care where it is. We'll find out when we become Kevli. So, but it should be a good read. Let's do a quick read of it, okay? Because some of these things really don't matter to our lives or our attitudes or aptitudes and all of those things. So to me, they're a little less important. But
But people have questions. I mean, they can read. I'm saying that they can
this
read
is
this.
more for like Dinesh, what do you call? Oh my God, Parik types because he kind of knowledge of so many other things. So then kind of it gets confusing.
So people would like to compare and clarify, I think.
A good way to compare and whatever. So it's okay.
Yeah, but there are a lot of details. I mean, yeah, it takes time.
Do a very quick read. We won't dwell much into it. But Amitji, no, whoever is scrolling, go back to
You want to read the commentary of this?
Details, yeah.
Okay. Ashrav has been defined to be the cause of the bondage of karma. That is that by which the karmas enter the soul. Elsewhere, we have those from which karmas flow are called ashravas. These definitions are in keeping with the derivative meaning of the word ashrav. And throughout Jain literature, the word ashrav is used in this sense. We should mention in this connection that this use of the word ashrav in its original and derivative sense has been supposed to support the view that Jainism was prevalent before Buddhism. We meet with many terms which are used alike by the Jains and the Buddhist. Among them, there is one which the Buddhist must have borrowed from the Jains. The term ashrav in Pali Asav is, according to the Buddhist, synonymous with klesh, and it means human passion, sin, corruption, depravity. Mm, a- Ashrav etymologically meant flowing in or influx, and it was difficult to imagine why the Buddhists should have chosen just that word to denote sin, corruption, depravity. Even if taken in a metaphorical sense, it is not easy to see how. From the Buddhist point of view, it should come to express the idea of depravity and sin, for it might be asked, what is to flow in and where is it to flow in? But with the Jains, ashrav retained its etymological meaning and it adequately expressed the idea denoted by the term ashrav. For according to the Jain philosophy, ashrav meant the influx of matter in the soul. Hence, the term ashrav had its literal meaning, for there really was something flowing in, and the result of it was defilement or depravity. It is therefore easily imaginable that in common parlance, ashrav should have got the meaning defilement or depravity, irrespective of the etymology, and this was just what happened to the word ashrav before it was received into Buddhist terminology. But the word would never have been used in its derivative meaning, sin, if it had not before been used in its literal meaning. And since the Jainas used the word in its original, that is, literal or etymological meaning, those who used it in the derived meaning must have adopted it from the Jains. Thus, the use of the word ashrav by the Buddhist is a proof of their posteriority with regard to the Jains. Umaswamy says that ashram results from the actions of the body and the mind and also from speech. Swami Kartikeya says that ashrams are certain movements of jiv resulting from actions of speech and those of the mind and the body, either accompanied by or be left off more karma. As water enters the pond through various channels, so karmas enter a soul through the ashrams. As water enters a boat through holes, so karma enters a soul through ashrams. Ashrams are broadly divided into bhavashram and karma ashram or dravya ashram. The former consists of the thought activities which cause the influx of karmic matter into a soul, while the latter is the karmic matter itself which enters a soul in this manner. In other words, in bhava ashram, we are concerned with thought activities, while in dravya ashram or karma ashram, we have a connection with matter. Abhyadev says that Dravya is the entrance of water through holes in a boat when the boat is on the water, and Bhava is the influx of karma through the five senses of jivas. In Vardhaman Puran, we have that bhav made impure by attachment, rag, etc., by which karmas adhere to men possessing attachment is called bhav ashro. The influx of matter in the shape of karma in a jeev grasped by impure bhavas is known as dravya ashro. Varieties of these classes of ashrav will be mentioned in verses 30 and 31 respectively. Michata vira dipamado joga kohadoi tha vinaya pana pana panadaha tiya chadu kamaso bheda du puvassa padapat. Atha, then, puvassa of the former Michata viradi pamada joga kohadayo. Mithyatva, avirati, pramada, yog, and krodh, etc. Kamso, respectively. Pana pana panadaha tiya chadu, 5, 5, 15, 3, and 4. Bhed, classes, Vinaya are to be known. Then it should be known that of the former Bhav Ashrav, The subdivisions are Mithyatva, Avirati, Pramada,
Pramad.
Pramad,
Pramad. Mhm.
Yoga, anger, etc.,
Mhm.
which are again of 5, 5, 15, 3, and 4 classes respectively.
So if we don't want to, we don't need to read the whole commentary because it's going to go just further into those classifications, which we can sort of do it on our own.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because in the class, exam, they are only going to ask these 5, not the further divisions. Now, one clarification here. So we read about this Buddhism, right? So the reason they said is because it's kind of confusing. So technically, Ashrav is also, even in Jainism, Ashrav, remember, is only that it's coming towards the Atma. It does not get
Influence.
bind with the Atma. Remember, what is binding with the Atma?
Bhavasram, Bhavakarma.
No.
Dravya karma.
Dravya.
The karma pudgal is binding to the Atma.
Okay. Arihant have Ashrav, but they don't have
Gatya karma.
Bandh. Remember, we understood the difference between Ashrav and Bandh? So they can have Ashrav because they still have a body. Kaya has movement. So which makes it a cause for karma coming towards you. But they don't get entangled with the soul.
So it doesn't stick. Yeah.
Doesn't stick. Cannot stay in the same space, basically. Now, so we have to keep that in mind. Now, in Buddhism, I may not have the complete knowledge, so I don't want to claim or say anything about any other religion until we have the complete knowledge. But when I attended the Vipassana camp, a lot of the knowledge was similar to Jainism. Yet, every time I would ask that, like, what is the ultimate? What are you going to experience with this 10-day of meditation and all that? And the answer I got was like, bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Like there is nothing. From what I could understand, they don't have the concept of soul. Everything is temporary. Now, there may be more to it, but from what I could, it got confusing to me. That if there is nothing beyond this body, then what are we working towards? So that's what they're pointing out. That even though Buddhism have this aso or whatever word, but it doesn't make sense. And same way in Jain Shastras, several places, they will point out either discrepancies within their own Shastras or why it would not make sense. Not to put them down, but to kind of understand it in a complete manner. That why these statements don't make sense or these, and then it is up to us. If it helps us in believing, then we concerned with it and read those things. If it does not help us in believing, we don't worry about it because our goal is not to put down any other philosophy or anything like that. So it is to be only used to prove what makes sense to be the truth rather than, contradicting any other something. And that can happen only when so even see in the old days also the acharyas or pandits who used to, there was a time when the pandits used to have, what do you call, competition or discussions, arguments in front of public or in front of the king. And then one would win based on how much yukti, how they could prove the philosophy. Okay. So for that, one had to be prepared to read all the philosophies, know about all the other philosophies, then prove that this one makes sense. So that used to happen a lot. And there was some time frame when that was the case. And even today, when I think if you're a student of genealogy or something like that in the universities, I think they make you also study about other philosophies. So that is the purpose that
I feel it is good to know other religion because Jainism is becoming so minority, and you hardly get any. I mean, we meet like this remotely, but I do not have any Jains around here. I mean, there are
well,
few,
yeah,
and also
unfortunately,
all the social friends I have is
and
all the.
yeah, yes, you're right. They're also decreasing in number. But honestly, that shouldn't bother us.
No,
Uh,
I know it does
instead
not
of
bother, but I mean, knowing for me, it does not bother anymore. But
Mhm.
for my daughter or somebody, so I always try to tell them difference so that I should not be, I feel like she should not be excited for something else before she knows.
Yes, that's a very important thing. Our kids, they went to because our temple is Hindu Jain temple, so it's like both. So obviously the Sunday schools, pathshalas were mixed. So my kids also learned all the shlokas and Ganesh stutis, whatever in the temple. But then we also taught them a lot of Jainism because they participated in the Jaina academic bowls. So for which they had to pretty much completely learn the Tattva Sutra and a lot of other stuff, which then gave them solid foundation. Where my little one, my younger one was only, I don't know how old was he, 12 or something like that. And I used to bring Christmas tree till then because I was like, okay, I don't want these kids to feel left out because we don't have enough Indians around us that celebrate. Back then even Diwali wasn't as big celebrated. Now that we have enough Indians, that Diwali is a prominent thing. So, my son on his own came and said, "Oh, we don't need to have this Christmas tree." you know, so, and that's the way it should be. They should have their own foundation. They should understand, you know, where you're coming from and be able to make their own decisions, not because parents said so. And it's okay if we didn't do it in childhood. Now is our time. We learn it now. So, and as adults, of course, I mean, we should definitely explore everything and prove it to ourselves. So, okay. Go ahead. Bahubaliji, you want to start reading with the
Yeah,
next one?
yes.
Thing.
Nanavarana dinam jogam jama puggalam samsavadi davasavo saniyo anaye bhedo jinakkado padapata nanavarana dinam of jinavaraniya etc. Jogam fit, jam which, puggalam pudgala, samsavadi inflows, sir that, jinakkado told by the jina, aneya bedo of many kinds, davyasavo, dravyasrava, neyo to be known. That influx of matter which causes Jnanavarniya, etc., is to be known as Dravyasrava, as called by the Jina, and possessing many varieties.
Okay, so then they will talk about the five
Yeah,
types.
Jnanavarniya.
It's okay.
Bhajyadi kammama jainadu chedana bhavena bhavabandhoso kammada padesanam annonna pavasenam idaro padapata Jaina, which Chedana Bhavena, conscious state, Kammama, Karma, Bhajyadi is bound, so that Bhava Bandho, Bhava Bandha, do what kammo the Padeshanam of the Pradeshas of Karma and Atma, unknown Bhavavesanam, interpenetration, either or the other, that conscious state by which karma is bound with the soul is called Bhava Bandha, while the interpenetration of the Pradeshas of karma and the soul is the other, Dravya Bandha.
Let's read the commentary of this. There is some
So
interesting.
we learned in verses 29 to 31 the causes on account of which karmas enter a soul. Now, when there is such an influx of karmas, there is a bondage of the soul with these karmas. This bondage is called bandha. Bondage of the soul with karmas is made by the conscious states of mind when a soul is excited with attachment or aversion. These states of consciousness are known as bhava bandha. In Vardhamana Purana, we have, so next, okay, we have Chetana Parinamena Rage 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 Doshayena Cha Yena Karma Nivadyante Bhava Bandha Evahi. That modification of consciousness consisting of attachment or aversion by which karmas are tied to the soul is known as Bhava Bandha. Bhava Bandha is therefore the alliance of the soul with the mental activities which are produced when we are excited with attachment or aversion to worldly objects. First of all, therefore, there is an influx of karmas through asravas. Then there are some activities of consciousness which attach themselves to the soul, producing a peculiar kind of bondage. This is what we call bhava bandha. After this bhava bandha, there is a union of jiva with actual karmas. This union consists of the interpenetration of the soul and karmas, and the bondage resulting from this is known as dravya bandha.
It's interesting that other two lines that is not in the Hindi book.
Yeah, but it makes, as you said, Prabhaji, for Arantas, the asrava happens.
Yeah.
There is no conscious activities, there is no bhava bandha there. So that's what there is no dravya bandha. So
Right.
here, yeah, it's very clear what you said and it took proper explanation. Yeah. Ashrava always comes, bandha happens only based on the conscious activities, the man,
Right.
vich, and kaya. If there is no activity, there is no impurity, then they will not, there is no bhava bandha, there is no dravya
Yes.
bandha. Yeah.
And that's the only reason. Okay, so these karma particles are floating in the universe. They're
Yeah.
hatas bhare hue jisko bolte hain, right? Now, they don't go around sticking to other pudgal on a rock or something. They're just existing. Why? Because this bhav is missing. Consciousness bhav is missing. So it is like so clear. Okay, there's a problem and you know the solution to what to do if you don't want the bandh.
No vows, yeah. No attachment, aversion.
Aversion, yeah. And the beauty of it is you can, even before you completely, are able to do that, even thoda kiya to thoda sukh. You can experience that mild anakulta as you follow the principles also. So, which means through your own experience, through your own evaluation, you can judge, experiment, and prove to yourself that, yes, this makes sense. And possibly compare and contrast in the sense that आपका फ्रेंड कहता है कि अरे भाई आपके ये चल रहा है, आप ये पूजा करा लो, ठीक हो जाएगा। और आपको तो पता है क्या हो रहा है, तो क्या करने से सच में मेरी मेंटल स्टेट ठीक हो जाएगी कि नहीं होगी, So you have ways to experiment with yourself and decide for yourself rather than blindly follow what somebody would say. Right?
I think
Okay.
more explanation follows in the commentary, I think, but these are not the next slokas, next gatha.
Yeah, this is, yeah, I don't know where they're getting these. I mean, this is part of the commentary, but they are not in the Hindi book, which is interesting.
I mean, I
Okay.
can read. I mean, anyhow, this is little bit, only little is there before
Yeah,
next.
it's a little bit till before the next one, so that's fine.
Okay. So, bhava bandhani nimittena sansklepo jiva karmano yosya
Yossachatu
yosya chatuha prakarosta dravya bandho
buddhais
budhai smrta. That union of jiva and karma, which is caused by bhava bandha and is of four kinds, is called dravya bandha by the learned.
Hmm.
I think they are talking about four bandhas, pradesha bandhas,
Mm-hmm.
sthiti
They will talk
bandha,
in the next shlok, they will
prakruti
talk.
bandha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bandha is therefore the assimilation of matter existing in many pradeshas by jiva when it is excited by kashaya, that is attachment and aversion. We have already described the results of this bondage in the commentary on verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Vayadittidi yanabhagapadesha beda du chaduvido bando yoga payadipadesha tidiyanu bhaga kasayado honti banda payadittidi anubhagapadesha bedu. According to the subdivisions, Prakriti, Sthiti, Anubhaga, and Pradesh is of four kinds:
Mm-hmm.
Payadi, Padesha, Prakriti, and Pradesha. Yoga from yoga, Honti are do, but Tidhi, Anubhaga, Sthiti, and Anubhaga, Kashayado from Kashayas. Bandha is of four kinds according to the subdivisions: Prakriti, Sthiti, Anubhaga, and Pradesha. Prakriti and Pradesha are produced from yoga, but Sthiti and Anubhaga are from Kashayas.
Does everybody remember this from when we
Yes.
studied this in the
Yes.
again?
Moksha Prakasha.
Yeah, did we have that in chapter 2 of Moksha Marg also?
Yeah, we had this Prakriti
I couldn't
Sthiti
remember it
Anubhaga.
was chapter 3 or 2. So we have done
Two.
in
We
detail.
have done this, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. Chedana Parinamo Cho Kammasava Kammasasava Nirohaneyo. So Bhava Sammoro Kalu Davyasavarohane Anno
Mm-hmm.
Padapata Jo, which Chedana Parnamo, the modification of consciousness, Kammas of karmas, Asava Nirohane, in checking Ashrava, Eyu, the cause, so that Kalu, surely, Bhava Samvara, Davyasava Rohane, in checking Davyasrava, Anno, the other, that modification of consciousness, which is the cause of checking Asrava, influx of karma, is surely Bhava Samvara. And the other, known as Dravya Samvara, is known from checking Dravyasrava.
Mm-hmm.
This cause of checking, what does the cause of checking means?
Yeah,
It
that's
is
what I was wondering. Why do they have the word checking Dravya?
the
Wait, let's read
modification
this again. The
consciousness.
modification of consciousness, okay, which is the soul, which is the cause of checking ashra influx.
Bhava Samvara, it's
Let
like
me
the
see
moment you
why.
start monitoring, observing, that Samvara starts.
Because he's not in the observing mode, which is the cause of. So let's call it observing ashrav
Yeah.
of karma. Okay, let me read what it says in Hindi. Okay, just 1 second. आत्मा के जिस परिणाम से कर्म का आना रुके. Do they calling ruke as checking, I wonder? उसे भाव संवर तथा द्रव्य संवर का न होना उसे द्रव्य संवर कहते हैं. Yeah, I think stoppages they're calling check-in.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's I would say.
So here in the commentary, like maybe 1 or 2 sentences,
Okay.
summarize the antagonistic principle of Astrava. The word is thus derived, that which checks the causes of karma, such as killing,
I
etc.
mean, checks, I don't understand what English is that. Is that how British people say checks?
Maybe.
It means keeping it in check.
Yeah.
I mean, checks doesn't make any
Check
sense.
is more of a like a prevent a stoppage. Yeah,
I mean, maybe they mean prevent. That would be more comfortable to write. But
Basically, if we were to use that word, we'll say which keeps in check the causes of karma, such as killing, etc.
yeah.
which is okay. So this person, yeah, they don't have to be grammatically completely correct because we understand if it's a manual translation. So that, yeah, you're right. Yeah, keeps in check will kind of make you understand that they're talking about prevention. Okay, it's fine.
Vada samidhi guttiyo dammanupiya parishah jayoya charitam vabbaveyam nayava bhava sammara visesha. Padapata.
Wait a minute. Did we skip some part of the commentary?
Yeah. Commentary we did skip
The whole thing.
whole
Let's
thing.
read this one. This one
Okay.
is because it talks about especially Samvar and Nirjara we want to understand the details. Let's just go ahead and read it.
Okay, so I'll reread that one. Samvara is the antagonistic principle of Astrava.
Right.
The word is thus derived, that which checks the causes of karma, such as killing, etc. That is, that which stops Astrava is known to be Samvara. Those by which the water of karma is prevented from entering the pond of self are known as Samvara. Samvaras are refraining from killing, etc. To be more explicit, Ashrava being the influx of karma through some openings, as we have seen before, Samvara is the stoppage of these openings, leading to the stoppage of Ashrava. To use our old illustration, the whole will allow influx, Ashrava of water, karma in both jiva. But if these holes to be stopped, Samvara, there will be no advent of water karma in the boat jiva. As there are two kinds of astravas, so two kinds of samvaras are also recognized as opposite principles to each of these kinds of astrava. These are called bhava samvara and dravya samvara, as opposed to bhavastrava and dravyastrava respectively. Abhayadeva Acharya has said that bhava samvara is the stoppage of the inlets of senses through which karma enters the soul, and dravya samvara is the stoppage, for example, of holes through which water enters a boat. In Vardhaman Purana, we have that modification of consciousness which is void of attachment and aversion, and by which the influx of karmas is stopped, is called bhava samvara. And that by which the yogis stop all kinds of influx through the great vows and meditation is called dravya samvara. These are two principal varieties of samvara, but the first variety, which bhava samvara, is again subdivided into many classes, which will be described in the following verse.
The English is not very accurate here, so just keep that in mind. Just don't misunderstand things.
Yeah. Vadasamiti
They were
Gutto.
trying to give that example of the boat, but I
Yeah.
noticed a couple of the sentences were kind of weird.
Okay.
So
Vada-
basically, the thought here is, boat kind of is a old example from the books, but you can even make your own examples, like window, right? The dust is constantly coming through the cracks or wherever in our countries, they're mostly closed. But let's say in the summer, we open the windows, right? Dust coming in is ashra. Now you close the window, so the dust stops coming in. But for nirjara, what would you have to do? Sweep the dust that has already entered and throw it out. So I think that's what they were trying to say in this. There was some weird term they used. If you go back, I'll point that out just so you understand. Okay, just hold on. So Dravya Samvar is the stoppage, for example. Yeah, so of the whole that inlets part, it was getting confusing. As he said, Bhasha is the stoppage of the inlets of senses. This kind of didn't make sense to me. Through which karma enters the soul. But there's basically what they're saying is stopping of the activities that would cause the karmas to come towards you, which really can never happen because even in Aryant Avastha, you are having some movement, and to completely stop the last few moments, they even stop the breath and everything else. There is zero movement, and that's when the complete eradication happens. So just wanted to make sure, clarify that aspect, and that's it then. Okay. Next, who wants to read the निधि जी, आप अवेलेबल हो पढ़ने के लिए?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, पढ़िए, दो आप पढ़िए, फिर नेक्स्ट दिनेश भगत जी.
Vad samidi gutyo dhamma nupiha paspari sahas jayo ya charitam bahu bheyam na yavva bhav samvar visesa. Vad samidi gutyo, vratas, samitis and guptis, ya and dhammanupiha, dharma and anuprekshas, parisahajayo, parishahajaya, bahubheyam, of many kinds, charitam, charitra, bhav samvar visesa, the varieties of bhav samvar, yak, nav, navvaya, to be known, the vratas, samitis, attitude of carefulness, guptis, that is restraint, dharmas, observances, anuprekshas, that is meditation, parishajaya, the victories over troubles, and the various kinds of charitra, conduct, are to be known as varieties of bhav samvar. Ma'am, commentary. Should I read the commentary?
Okay, let's do this commentary. I will explain to you briefly the Nishchay Vrat and Nishchay Samiti and Nishchay Gupti. We know Nishchay is everything that has to do with staying in the soul, staying in the experience of the soul. So all of the Nishchay, Vrat, Samiti, Gupti, Dharm, Anupreksha, Parishajay, right? Basically, not being disturbed with any outside, staying with your soul is the Nisha aspect of all of them. And we already know what the Vyavahar is, right? Vyavahar, Samiti, Gupti is having control of the Bhasha, and when you walk, be careful, Adan Prisht, all of those, okay? Now, here there is if you scroll down, I know here in the English it's different, they have not numbered. In Hindi, they have numbered. So somewhere there is a 9 number which says Pap Samvar Sambandhi Spashtata. So I thought we could read that. So let's skip this Gupti Dharm, these things kind of So this is the 7th, so we'll have to go through till the 9th. So just so you know, Nishchay Parishaya Jay is, there is 22 types of what do you call that? Inflictions, right? But then enduring them, which means not feeling like you're getting troubled and you're tolerating. Don't even feel the trouble. That is what is enduring. That is what is Parishaya Jay. Okay? Now, Nishchay Charitra is same thing. Nishchay se Nishkashay Bhav, no passions, is the true Charitra. But again, Gyan Matra Chetit hone se swayam Gyan Chetna hai. So you don't have any passions, you are only with yourself, Atma, that is the Nishchay. Okay, you've scrolled down to 36, but above that, is there a 9th point?
9 point on what, what particular?
I read up to 7th, so there should be 8th and 9th. Okay, one second here. Charitra or right conduct. Wait, hang on. Okay, wait. So this is G. Keep going down. This is kind of different than what the Hindi version is. Okay. So read from we have thus seen somewhere divided into, let's I guess they don't have what is in the Hindi book. Okay. It's okay. I'm just reading it. It's too much detail, may not be as important. So basically, okay, what extra they have in Hindi, they are trying to emphasize that you cannot call Shubh Upyog as Samvar. No influx is what is Samvar, right? And then they've given some references of another Vrahad Dravya Sangraha and Panchastikaya. पाप आश्रव के संवर का स्वरूप दिया है। वहां कुंद कुंद आचार्य देव कहते हैं, भली भांति मार्ग में रहकर इंद्रियों, कषायों और संज्ञाओं का जीतना निग्रह करता है, उतना ही पाप आश्रव का छिद्र बंद होता है। So basically so here the point they're making is, as much as you can give up or control your passions and what do you call experiences of the 5 senses and all that much stoppage can happen. So basically they're saying partial stoppage can also happen. And then he says, उसी टीका में कहा है कि मार्ग यथार्थ में संवर है, उसके निमित्त से उसके लिए इंद्रियों कषाय और संज्ञा को जीतने अंश में अथवा जितने समय तक निग्रह किया है. So as much time you've been able to escape from the 5 senses, enjoyments and passions, that much samvar has happened. That much you've been able to restrict the influx of the karmas. And then they go on to say that Shubh Upyog is not samvar and all that. So the other thing they mention here is ki, but why? Then they're like, why do you talk about Shubh Upyog and Ashubh if only Shuddha is the Parab? So they're saying that can be a Nimitta Karan. So they give you the information. So ऐसा शुभ उपयोग साधक जीव के तन्मय बुद्धि से एकत्व बुद्धि में से नहीं होता. So it helps you to not have the attachment towards the body. And you have the Nished buddhi, Hey buddhi, Viyog buddhi. So when you have that kind of attitude, then actually you get into the samvar mode. And the purity keeps increasing. And as the purity increases, the Shubh Bhav will reduce automatically. इसलिए व्यवहार रत्नत्रय रूप शुभ उपयोग परमार्थ से बाधक होने पर भी सहचर. So basically, Shubh Upyog is not going to get you to moksha. Yet, it follows along in the path. They go hand in hand. That's the point they are making here. होने के कारण व्यवहार नय से निश्चय नय का साधक अर्थात भिन्न साधक साध्य निमित्त रूप से कहा जाता है. So there is that निमित्त नैमित्तिक संबंध there. Okay. So I covered like whatever was not in the English here, whatever little bit extra that we didn't have much before. So let's move on to the 36. Ja kalena tavena. Somebody else wants to read details? Dinesh Burarji, you want to read? Next one. Is my screen frozen by any chance?
No, yours is fine. I mean, it looks like Dinesh's screen is frozen.
Okay, then somebody else pick up the reading.
Can you hear me by any chance or no?
Now
Yes,
we
now we
can.
can.
Okay, we thought you didn't respond, so I was
Oh.
wondering if I was frozen or what happened. Okay.
Oh. Jah kalena tavena ya bhuttarasya kamma puggala jena
Mhm.
bhavena sadidi niya
Yes. Tasadanam.
tasadana chedi.
Yeah, I think his internet is not good enough for him to be reading. Viraj, are you in a position to read? Maybe not. He
I
said.
think he's lying down.
You can excuse me today, yeah, because I'm
It's okay,
lying
no
down.
problem, no problem.
Yeah,
Arun
thank
ji, आप पढ़ लीजिए, चलिए.
जी जी जी. जय कालेन तवेन यह भूतरस्य कम पुग्गलम जेण भावेन सड़ति णया तसणनम चेदि निंजरा दुविहा. Jay Kalen, in proper time, Buttrasam, whose fruits are enjoyed, Kamapuggal, the matter of karma, Jain,
Mhm.
Jena, that, Bhaven, Bhav, Sadadi, disappear, Ya, and Taven, by penance, Cha, and Tadasanam, that disappearance, Idi, thus, Ninjara, Nijara, Nirjara, Duviha of two kinds, Neya, to be known. That bhav, modification of the soul, by which the matter of karma disappears in proper time after the fruits of such karma are enjoyed, is called bhava nirjara. Also, the destruction of karmic matter through penance is known as bhava nirjara. And that destruction itself is known as dravya nirjara. Thus, nirjara should be known of two kinds. You want to read the commentary as well?
Yeah, read it. Go ahead.
We have seen how the matter of karma enters the soul through ashram and how this influx might be stopped by samvar. But now the question arises that we might stop a further influx of karmic matter by samvar, but how can we be freed from the same which has already taken possession of the soul? The answer to this is given in this verse, where it is laid down that by nirjara we can free ourselves from the karmic matter which has already entered the soul. What is nirjara? The destruction of karmas is called nirjara. This destruction may be of two kinds, bhav nirjara and dravya nirjara. Bhav nirjara consists of that modification of the soul which proceeds and favors the separation of karmic matter from the soul. Dravya nirjara is the actual separation of karmic matter from the soul. In other words, Bhav Nijara is the state of the soul where material particles arising from karma disappear, while Dravya Nirjara is the disappearance itself. Bhav Nirjara is of two kinds, Savipak and Akam, and Avipak or Sakam. This is to say, karmas are destroyed in two ways. That is, one, after their fruits are fully enjoyed, and two, through penances before such enjoyment of fruits. Every person is affected with good or bad karmas, fruits of which are enjoyed by them in existence in earth, heaven, or hell, according to the kind of karmas possessed by them. There is a fixed period of such enjoyment of the fruits of karmas, and after the lapse of that period, when the said fruit of karmas are fully enjoyed, a person is freed from the karmas which disappear on their own accord. This is what is known as savipak nirjara, or destruction of karmas after enjoyment of the fruits. This kind of nirjara can happen to all beings, for all kinds of karmas of all beings disappear in this manner after a proper period. As this disappearance takes place without the activity of a person, it is also called a calm or unintentional nirjara. The second kind of destruction of karmas take place when the sages practice penance by force of which karmas disappear even before their fruits are enjoyed. This is consequently known as avipak nirjara, or destruction of karmas without the enjoyment of their fruits. As such a kind of destruction can only be produced by intentional effort on behalf of a person, it is known as sakam or intentional nirjara. The soul is like a mirror which becomes dim when the dust of karma accumulate on its surface. By nirjara, this dust of karma is removed and the soul attains clearness. The good or bad karmas disappear either on their own account without any activity on the part of the soul when their fruits are enjoyed in earth, heaven, or hell, or by the effort on the part of person consisting of the practice of penances.
So this book is probably translated a while back. So in the latter books, the clearness now is called clairvoyance, which is more of a commonly used word in English. So
we have already mentioned that there are 12 kinds of penances according as they are external or internal. A person must practice first of all somewhat so as to stop all influx of karmas and then begin to destroy karmas already amalgamated within the soul by means of penances. This is the way in which destruction of karmas takes place in the case of sages, while ordinarily with respect to all classes of beings, karmas disappear only after their fruits are being enjoyed. Savvasya kamano jo khe dehu apano hu parinamo eo sa bhava mokho dav vimokho ya kamma pud bhavo. Jo, that, apanno, souls, parinamo, modification, savas, savas, savasa, of all, kamanno, karma, kha behedu, the cause of destruction, sa, that, who, surely, bhavamokho, bhavamoksh, kneo, to be known, ya, and kammapubhavo, separation of karma, dava vimakho, dravya moksha. That modification of the soul, which is the cause of destruction of all karmas, is surely known as bhava moksha, and actual separation of the karma is dravya moksha. When a person is desirous of having liberation, he attempts to have perfect faith, perfect knowledge, and perfect conduct. Having perfect faith, knowledge, and conduct, he becomes free from four kinds of ghatya karmas: jnana varniya, darshan varniya, moniya, and antaraya. This modification of the soul, which leads to destruction of the karmas mentioned above, is called bhava moksha. The commentator Brahmadev says that by the word all karmas in the verse, the four ghatya karma and bhav karma only are meant. In Vardhaman Puran we have, should I read that?
no, that's okay. You can just read the meaning.
Meaning, or can you go? The
Yeah, the
extremely
extremely
pure
pure.
modification of the soul,
Yeah.
which is the cause of destruction of all kinds of karma in a person desirous of good, is regarded as bhav moksha by jinas.
So we
Now,
are just reading the bhav and dravya of all of these, just so we get a clear understanding of it.
now
So-
there is another kind of moksha called dravya moksha, which consists of separation of the soul from ghatiya karmas, that is ayu, nam, gotra, and vedaniya karmas, which disappear last of all. This happens when a being is in the last stage of development, which is known as ayogi. So then there is the shloka, which means the
We
separation.
already studied about the Ayogi and Sayogi Kevli in the past, right? You guys all remember that?
Yeah, yes.
The separation of the conscious soul from all kinds of karmas by excellent meditation is also known as Dravya Moksha. By Bhava Moksha, therefore, one is freed from the first four, and by Dravya Moksha from the last four kinds of karmas.
Mhm.
Both these kinds of mokshas together lead to perfect liberation. Uma Swami has written in his Tattva Sutra that a person attains Keval Gyan when first his Mohaniya karma and then his Jnana Varniya, Darshan Varniya, Antaraya karmas are destroyed. After attaining Keval Gyan, the cause producing bondage being absent and Nirjara being present, a person becomes free from the remaining karmas, that is Vedaniya, Ayu, Nam, and Gotra karmas, and thus being void of all kinds of karmas attains liberation. We've seen that karmas take possession of the soul through ashravas. This influx of karmas can be stopped by samvars. By this stoppage, fresh karma cannot enter the soul. But even after stopping the entrance of fresh karmas, it is necessary to purge the soul from karmas which have already taken possession of the former. This can be done by nirjara. Then only the karmas, Vedaniya, Nama, Gotra, and Ayu, which cause worldly existence, disappear, and a being attains liberation. In Panchastika Samesar, we have the shloka and the meaning. He who, having someone and destroying all karmas through nirjara, becomes free from Vedani and Nama, Gotra, and Ayu karmas, leaves the world. Therefore, this is called moksha. Just a quick question, Prabhaji. Supposing Kevli in 13 Gunstan,
Mhm.
he passes away and all this karma is not gone, then does it take birth again?
No. So that doesn't happen. And there's a solution that. So that can happen sometimes that they have almost finished the Ayu karma, but still some karmas are left. Doesn't happen very often, but can happen. So there's a process called Kevli Samudghat. So, they are in Muni Avastha, right? So they have this ability to expand their soul to the maximum, which is as big as the universe, and shed those remaining karmas and come back to their size of the body and then leave the body. So once in a while, that's called Kevli Samudghat. So that happens to take care of those remaining.
So will they? Okay. But they won't be reborn though, right?
No, that never happens.
So they do it after their death? That's what you say.
Before.
Now, if they're not able to do that before their death, then what happens?
That never happens. That's the natural process.
That's what I mean.
So there is no rebirth for
Okay.
sure.
Suha asuha bhava jutta punnam pavam havanti khalu jiva sadam suhaya nanam godam punnam parani pavam cha. Jivas, suha asuha bhava jutta, having auspicious and inauspicious bhavs, khalu, surely, punnam, punya, pavam, pap, havanti, become, satam, uh, satvedaniya, suhau, auspicious life, nanam, namam, name, god, gotra, punnam, punya, cha, and dharani, the rest, pavam, papa. The jivas consist of punya and papa, surely have auspicious and inauspicious bhavas. Punya is sata vedaniya, auspicious life, name, and class, while pap is exactly the opposite of these.
Mhm.
The real characteristics of a jiva is consciousness, purity, and bliss. But through the eternal chain of karmas, bondage is produced and jivas enjoy punya and pap. According as they are possessed by auspicious and inauspicious bhavas. The auspicious bhavas are said to consist of freedom from delusion, acquirement of perfect faith and knowledge, practice of reverence and obeisance, observance of the five vows, that is, truth, non injury, chastity, non acceptance of worldly objects, and refraining from stealing, subduing of the four passions, anger, pride, illusion, and greed, victory over the uncontrollable senses, and practice of penances. The inauspicious bhavas are opposites of each of these. According as a jiva is possessed by these auspicious and inauspicious bhavas, it has merits or demerits resulting in weal or woe, which is punya or pap. Can we scroll up, please?
Oh, sorry.
Thus, a jiva enjoys happiness or misery according as it is actuated by different kinds of bhavas mentioned above. In Tatvardi Agam Sutra, we have Punya consists of Sata Vedaniya, Shubh Ayu, Shubh Nam, Shubh Gotra, and Pap consists of opposites of each of those. We've seen that there are 8 kinds of karmas: Jnana Varniya, Darshan Varniya, Mohniya, Antaraya, Vedaniya, Ayu, Nam, and Gotra, and that the first 4 of these are known as Ghatiya karmas, while the last 4 are named Aghatiya karmas. Among these, all the Ghatiya karmas may be said to be Pap, while Aghatiya karmas may be either Punya or Pap. Sata Vedaniya is the karma by which a soul feels pleasure in external objects and by assistance of which things which are gratifying to the soul may be procured. Shubh Ayu, auspicious life, consists of having an existence as a god, human being, or a beast. Shubha Gotra, auspicious family, consists in being born in a high status of life. Shubh Nam consists of fame, etc., and is of various kinds. All these make up what is known as Punya. Pap, on the other hand, consists of Asata Vedani, or that karma which produces pain and procures objects causing pain. Ashubh Ayu, inauspicious life, that is existence in hell. Ashubh Gotra, inauspicious family, comprising a birth in low status. And Ashubh Nam, inauspicious name, consists of disgrace, etc. With this ends that section of Dravya Sangraha, which treats the 7 tattvas, that is Ashra, Bandh, Samvar, Nirjara, Moksha, Punya, and Pap. The next section will deal with the manner by which one can attain liberation. Should I continue?
Can continue because I think what I'm planning is so for this chapter we read some of the important commentaries. We'll continue to do the same thing for the 3rd chapter, and then once we finish that, then we'll come back and maybe read commentary of the 1st chapter, which I think could make more sense. So is that okay? That way we would have properly. And in a way, it's good if we finish the syllabus a little early. I always try to do that. And because, well, you did Bara Bhavna, of course, summaries, but still, if we have time left, I think it would be a good idea to, again, which will coincide in your revision for the exams also. Pick up a topic of your choice and do Gandhar Mulyankan, where then I get to ask you the 3 questions. So I had thought that if we are tight on time and we cannot finish the syllabus, then we'll let your Bara Bhavna summaries count as, Gandhar. But if we have time, I think it will help you guys to anyway start studying for the exam. And in doing so, you can also try to upload whatever you write as summaries to I think Amit ji has already created the assignments. So hopefully you guys have already done, some of you, and whatever is remaining, now is the time to finish it and upload. And also I just posted the LCPs that have come about. So either we can go through the questions now if you want, or maybe in the next class after we finish this Dravya Sangraha. What do you
What are the deadlines for uploading summaries?
Uh, okay, just a warning. This semester also, because of their uh, still working on Moodle and all that, we were not tight. So Amit ji got to decide on the dates and we kind of extended it till the end of the semester. Now, at some point, if they take over, if Moodle people take over and they put the assignments, they will put the deadlines, in which case we will have to write the summaries as soon as we finish a topic.
Yeah,
So
so
just
what
for,
they
for our
mentioned,
purpose right now, end of June will be our deadline for all 3 assignments and LCPA.
yeah,
And
so
LCPA is already provided, so you have a full month to do that also. Yeah.
yeah, Prabhaji, what they have mentioned, right, is that last date for all assignment submission is 15th July.
15th July, they said.
Yeah, yeah. So you remember that paper thing, right? I think you only forwarded to this group, right? That had the last line, right, saying the last date of all the assignment
Okay,
submission
so
is 15th July.
basically what they're saying is, yes, then they will close it to accept from the Moodle end. But for our purpose, let's do it end of this month because then the exams start. So you would rather be studying for the exam during those weeks than uploading summaries. What do you say?
Yeah, yeah, we can put end of June.
Right. I mean, you don't have to put it in Moodle, but for our practical purposes, do try to finish uploading it by end of this month.
Correct.
And again, like I said, you know, the more time you put into it, the better you do. It's for your own good. For certification purposes, for exam purposes, even if you write a little page for yourself, it's for you and upload it. At least you'll be done with the assignment aspect of it. So I would rather upload it than to wait and say, oh, I have so much more to write and then I'll upload.
Right.
Okay. An LCP, you should spend time on it because that's more interesting and it's more applied knowledge of what you learn. So, but the rest of it, we pretty much do it quite thoroughly in class. So I take it that you're understanding the subject matter and applying it to your life. The rest of it is just, the logistics of the course, and that's okay. That should also be done. So, okay. So then we can continue. Bahubali ji, you want to start with the 39? Do
Yeah.
2 and we'll just rotate for the next half an hour.
Okay. Sammaddasan, Sammaddasana,
Sammaddansanam.
Sammaddansanam,
Yeah.
Nanam, Charanam, Moksassa Karanam, Jaya, Bhavahara, Nichayado, Tatya, Maish, Tatya Mayo, Neo,
Niyo
Neo
appa.
Appa, Padapatha, Vavahara, from the ordinary point of view, Sammaddasana, Nanam, Charanam, perfect faith, knowledge and conduct, Mokkasa, of liberation, Karanam, cause, Jane, Jane, no, Nichayado, really, Tatyamayo, consisting of these 3, Neo, of one's own, Appa, soul. Know that from the ordinary point of view, perfect faith, knowledge, and conduct are the cause of liberation, while really one's own soul consisting of these 3 is the cause of liberation. So, read the commentary or no?
Oh, hang on, let me see what is in Hindi. So if it is worth it, we'll read it. Otherwise, we won't. It's okay, we can skip that. This is just Nishchay Moksha Marg and Vyavahara
Okay.
Moksha Marg, which we kind of know. And yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
On to the next.
Rayanatayam na Vattai Appanam Mayattu Annadavi Mahi Tamaha Tatiyamayo Odi U Mokkassa Karanam Yami Karanam Ada Appanam, the soul, Mayattu, accepting, okay, Mayattu, Annadaviyamahi, in any other substances, Rayanatayam, the three jewels, not, Vattai, exist, Tama, therefore, Tatyamayo, consisting of these three, Ada, the soul, who surely Mokkasa of liberation, Karanam, cause of Odi becomes. The three jewels, that is perfect faith, perfect knowledge, and perfect conduct, do not exist in any other substance excepting the soul. Therefore, the soul surely is the cause of liberation.
Yeah, so just ignore the little English errors. I mean, not accepting it should be accept the soul.
Okay.
This one, let's see how much commentary is there. Maybe we can read the commentary.
Yeah, it's not big.
Yeah, let's read that one.
It has been laid down that in order to attain moksha or liberation, one must have perfect faith, perfect knowledge, and perfect conduct. These three are therefore the means to liberation, but these should not be considered to be apart from the soul, for nowhere but in the soul can each or all of these exist. It is the soul possessed of all these three jewels that is really fit for liberation. Strictly speaking, therefore, the soul itself attains liberation when it is possessed of certain characteristics, these three jewels. But from the ordinary point of view, we regard the three jewels as apart from the soul as the causes of liberation from the realistic point of view. The soul possessed of these three jewels is the cause of moksha.
So, why do you think Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, and Samyak Charitra is part of the soul?
Because they exist there.
Can we elaborate a little more on it? What is Samyak Darshan?
Is the right belief that the self, I am the soul and not the body.
No, all that is good. Okay, let me ask another way. It is paryay of which gun of the soul?
Darshan gun.
Right? So Shraddha gun.
I mean, it's Shraddha gun, sorry, not
Darshan monia, right?
Yeah.
So Darshan monia ka abhav,
Wow. Yeah.
pure, part of Shraddha gun is Samyak Darshan. So, same thing, Gyan and Charitra.
Yeah.
So, it is the natural state of Shraddha, Gyan, and Charitra gun, and that is why it is part of the soul. Okay. Right now, we are in Vibhav of all those guns, Gyan, Darshan, Charitra. Now, when you are in its Swabhav, when we are in its true nature, then we are in Samyak Darshan, Gyan, and Charitra. Right? So that's why it's nowhere else but the soul.
Yeah. Jivadi Sadhanam Sammattam Ruvamappano Tamtu Durabinivesha Vimukkam Nanam Sammam Kuhodi Sadi Jammi.
Mhm.
Jivadi Saddhanam, faith in Jiva, etc. Sammattam, Samyaktva, perfect faith. Tam, that. Appano, of soul. Nuam, Ruam, quality. Tu, and. Jami, that. Sadi, being. Ku, surely. Gnanam, Jnana, knowledge. Durabhinivesha Vimukkam, free from errors. Sammam, perfect. Bodhi becomes. Samyaktva, perfect faith, is the belief in Jiva, etc. That is a quality of the soul, and when this arises, Jnana, knowledge, being free from errors, surely becomes perfect. Okay.
Okay, Amit ji, you read next two now.
Some-
We'll just read two at a time. Two. Go ahead.
Should I read?
Yeah.
Okay. Samsay vimoha vibham viyajyam apaparasaru gahanam sammam nanam sayyara maneya beyam cha padapata samsaya vimoha vibham viyajyam freed from sansay, doubt, vimoha, perversity, and vibhrama, indefiniteness. Sayaram, detailed, apaparas saruvasa, of the
Yeah.
real nature of ego and non-ego. Gahanam, cognition.
Mhm.
Sammam nanam, samyak gyan, or perfect knowledge. Cha, and anayabheyam, of many varieties. So, Samyak Gyan, perfect knowledge, is the detailed cognition of the real nature of the ego and non ego, is freed from sansay, doubt, perversity, vimoha, and vibhrama, indefiniteness, and is of many varieties.
Okay, so I want you to tell me what this paragraph means, because we have discussed all these things in the past in the class.
Yeah, it's just Samyaktva, the perfect knowledge is divide up Samshaya and
Mhm.
we use the different words when we last time we learned.
Prayava, Sanshaya, Viprit. What was the word we used before? Something to do with
Samshaya,
Anadhyavasan
Anadhyavasaya.
and Anadhyavasai and even I'm kind of blanking out on the middle word.
Samshaya, Anadhyavasaya.
Viprita Binivesh, that is another word for it, but basically opposite Gyan.
Yeah.
So now, okay, explain to me what is this detailed cognition of the real nature?
Yeah, basically it is to know the real nature, right? Tattva Gyan is the real nature of Jeev and Ajeev. Right.
Right.
So
And
detailed
So-
cognition would be the both knowledge and perception.
Right.
Upyog,
Now
basically.
they have used the word ego and
ego and
non-ego.
non-ego. That
Why
means
did they do that?
Soul and
so there
non-soul.
is there is
But-
no raga dvesha there. There is no individuality. There no things as they are without
No, so ego is what? What is ego? I
kashaya.
I myself.
consider myself as this vice president of a company. My ego is attached to that position, right? Ego is basically minus in there. So the reason they're using the word ego and non-ego is that Samid Gyanan is the detailed cognition. Now I know the truth in so much detail that I know who am I, where should be my association, where should be minus, and where should be non-minus. Non-ego means not me and me.
Okay.
How does that get confirmed, or how do you get that strong understanding of it? Is unless you understand it in detail and properly you're cognizant with it, you don't get that naturally feeling that I am the soul.
संशय विपर्य अनध्यवसाय, Prabhaji.
So let's say, for example, right now we are not really associating ourselves with the soul. We are associating ourselves with the bodies, or so take an example of you're driving a car. You don't forget the fact that you are Bahubali, Amit, whoever, and that you are the father of so and you are the whatever your position at the job might be. That's like constantly stays with you. Do you think you can experience that or feel that? Now, when that changes to constantly staying that I'm the soul, I'm not any of the other stuff, that relationship or that conviction is what is needed. And that comes slowly as your this current knowledge increases and the Shraddha starts getting deeper and deeper. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's read the commentary also.
So read the commentary. Amit.
Yeah. Correct knowledge, according to Jain Nyaya philosophy, must be free from this samarope, that is fallacies. This samarope is said to be of three kinds: viparya or vimoha,
That viparya
perversity;
is the word I was looking for.
Sansai, doubt; and Anadhyavasaya or Viprama, indefiniteness. The cognition of an object as something which is quite the contrary of its real self is known as Viparya or Vimoha. So, for example, if we think nacre to be silver, we have a knowledge vitiated by viparya or vimoha. Sansai consists of doubt when our mind sways between this or that without being able to assert the true nature of anything. For example, when we see a certain object from a distance and are unable to say whether it is a man or a post, we have an instance of samsai or doubt. A knowledge that this is something without any clear idea of what it is called anadya vasai or vibrama. For example, such a knowledge arises in the mind of a person when he touches something while he is moving. He is conscious that he has touched something but is unable to say what it is. This being the varieties of fallacy, there is no doubt that in perfect knowledge these are entirely absent. In the state of perfect knowledge, we have a clear idea of the real nature of everything, ego and non ego. This idea is not of a shadowy kind but consists of detailed knowledge. We have already described the difference between detailed and detailless knowledge in the commentary on verse 4. Jam samanam gahanam bhavanam neva katumayaram avisesiduna ate damsanadi midi damsanamidi bhanaya samaye padapat ate things avisesiduna without particulars, ayaram detail, neva not, katum grasping, jam which, bhavanam things, samanam general, gahanam perception, damsanam darshan, ed this, samay in the scriptures, bhanai is called, That perception of the generalities of things without particularities, in which there is no grasping of details, is called darshan in Jain scriptures. Should I do the commentary? Darshan is knowledge without details. For example, when a person sees a cloth, as long as he is only conscious of the existence of something called cloth, he is said to have darshan. But when he begins to have knowledge of the details, with the size, color, etc. of that piece of cloth, he is said to have gyan. We already made this clear in the commentary on verse 4. In Tattvarthigama Sutra of Umaswamy, we have Samyak Darshan is faith in the principles of Jainism. Tattvartha Sraddhana Samyak Darshanam. That darshan is not the same as the darshan which we have described above. There, Samyak darshan means perfect faith, and details are present there, while here it means knowledge without details. Damsana puvam nanam chaddu mathanam na duni uvaug jugavam jamha kevali nahe jugavam tu te dovi padapat chadu mathanam of the sansari jeeves. Damsana puvam preceded by darshan, nanam gnana. Jaha for this reason, duni to, uvaoga upayog, jugavam simultaneously, na not, to but, kevali nahe in kevalis, they those, though two, we together, jugavam simultaneously. In Sansari Jeeves, Gnan is preceded by Darshan. For this reason, in him, the two Upayogs, Gnan and Darshan, do not arise simultaneously, but in Kevalis, both of these two arise simultaneously. Sansari Jeeves or beings leading a mundane existence have darshan or detailless knowledge first of all. Then they have gyan or knowledge with details. But this is not the case with Kevalis, who have darshan and gyan at once. The reason for this difference is that in Sansari Jeeves, there are hindrances known as darshana varniya and gnan varniya karmas. That is, karmas obscuring darshan and gyan, which must be destroyed or mitigated, kshay or upasam, before darshan, upsam, before darshan or gnan can arise. But in a kevali, these obscuring karmas are entirely absent. So darshan and gyan can both arise at the same time. Brahmadeva has illustrated this as follows. In the case of samsari jeeves, the knowledge of the objects through darshan and gyan is gradual, first without and then with details like the revelation of objects by the light of the sun when it is obscured by clouds. But the appearance of darshan and gyan in kevalis is like the sudden illumination of every object when the sun appears in a cloudless sky. The clouds represent the karmas, which obscure the Gnan and Darshan. Asuhado vinivitti suhe pavitti ya jana charitam vadasam medi gutti urvaruvam vavaharanya tu jinabhanayam. Padapat Asuhado from what is harmful, Viniviti refraining, ya, and Suhe in what is beneficial, Paviti engagement, Charitam charitra conduct, Jnana no, do but, Vavharanaye according to Vyavharanaye. Samidi Gutiruvam consisting of Vrat, Samiti and Gupti. Jinabhaniyam mentioned by the Jina. No charitra to be refraining from what is harmful and engagement in what is beneficial. But according to Vyavahar Nay, charitra, conduct, has been mentioned by the jinn to consist of vrat, samiti, and gupti. From the ordinary point of view, vrats, vows, samitis, attitudes of carefulness, and guptis, restraints, may be said to constitute charitra conduct. We've already described what vratas, samitis, and guptis are in verse 35. One who is immersed in worldly aspirations and attached to worldly objects, one whose soul is possessed of attachment and aversion, one who listens non-Jain scriptures, one who has a vicious mind, keeps evil company and follows the terrible evil path of life, is said to be active in the pursuit of what is harmful, ashubh. Refraining from these and engagement in the opposite of these by practicing the five vratas, five samitis, and three guptis lead to what is beneficial, shubh. Charitra, conduct, consist in the pursuit of what is beneficial and avoidance of what is harmful. What is really samyak charitra, perfect conduct will appear from the next verse. बहि बहिरभमतर किरियारोहो भावकरण कारण कारणपनास्थम ननिसज्जम चिनुतम तम परमम सम्मचारितम पदबत भाव कारण apanasatham to destroy the causes of samsara. Jam, which, Nanisa, of one who has knowledge. Bahira Bhamtara Kiriyaraho, the checking of external and internal actions. Tam, that. Jinutam, mentioned by the Jinas. Paramam, excellent. Samacharitam, perfect conduct. That checking of external and internal actions by one who has knowledge in order to destroy the causes of samsara is the excellent samyak charitra, perfect conduct, mentioned by the jinn. Babuli,
Some
if
of
you
it we have studied already in the Chedhala, right?
yeah, the samyak gyan,
That's why I'm going to not explain much. We already did this.
In the previous verse, Charitra conduct from the ordinary point of view has been described. In this verse, we are introduced to Charitra from the realistic point of view. When a person checks all external activities of body and speech together with all internal activities of the mind, so that all hindrances to the understanding of the true character of the soul are removed, he is said to have samyak charitra, perfect conduct. By this means, the person becomes free from all influx of beneficial or harmful karmas, which cause samsara or worldly existence. Perfect conduct, therefore, consists in checking all kinds of activities which are opposed to the characteristics of the soul, which is void of all actions, eternal, and consisting of pure jnana and darshan. दुविहंपि मोक्कहियुम जाने पौनादि जम मुनि नियम तमह पयत चित्त जुयम जानम समौभासा Padabat, jump because Muni, sage, Niyam, by the rule, Duviham, two kinds, P, both, Mukahiyum, the cause of liberation, Jane, by meditation, Panaudi, gets, Tamha, therefore, Juyam, you, Payati Chitta, with careful mind, Janam, meditation, Samaupasaha, practice. Because by the rule, a sage gets both the Vyavahar and Nishchay, causes of liberation by meditation. Therefore, you practice meditation with careful mind. Commentary. Perfect faith, perfect knowledge, and perfect conduct are the causes of liberation from the ordinary point of view, while really the soul itself possessed of these three is the cause of liberation. By meditation, one can have perfect faith, perfect knowledge, and perfect conduct, and one can understand the soul also only through meditation. Therefore, dhyan or meditation is of supreme importance for a person who seeks liberation. The author, therefore, in this verse asks everyone who is eager to attain liberation is to practice meditation. Ma mujaha, ma rajaha, ma dusaha, इथन इथात थेसु थिरमि छहा जय चितम विचित जान जान अपसिद्धि पदपात जय if vichit jana pasiddhi to succeed in various kinds of meditation chitam mind thiram fixed icha wish ithanitha athesu in beneficial and harmful objects ma do not mujaha be deluded ma do not ma do not rajaha be attached to ma do not dusaha be averse to. If you wish to have your mind fixed in order to succeed in various kinds of meditation, do not be deluded by or attached to beneficial objects and do not averse to harmful objects. To succeed in the practice of meditation, one must be free from all disturbing feelings. He should neither be attracted to pleasant objects nor repulsed by unpleasant objects. He should be indifferent to everything, may it be beneficial or harmful. By this means, he would be able to fix his soul upon itself, as the calmness of his mind would remain undisturbed through the disappearance of disturbances arising from attachment and aversion. Paratisa sola chappana chadu, chappan chadu, dugamegam cha javaha chahe, paramethi va chayanam, anam cha guruvaye sena. Paramethi vachayanam, sorry, Padapat Paramethi vachayanam, signifying the Parmeshtis, Panatisa, Paratis, 35, oh, 35, okay, Sola, 16, Cha, 6, Pana, 5, Chadu, 4, Tugam, 2, Cha, and Igam, 1, Cha, and Guruva. Guruva is Sena, by the instruction of the Guru, preceptor. Anam, others. Javaha, repeat. Jahe, meditate. Repeat and meditate on the mantras signifying the Parmeshtis and consisting of 35, 16, 6, 5, 4, 2, and 1 letter and other mantras taught by the Guru, preceptor. In this verse, we are introduced to the daily prayer of the Jains. In all religions, a formula consisting of the daily prayer has been prescribed, and in a Jain religion, this prayer can be lengthened or shortened according to the occasion or capacity of the worshipper. The full prayer is as follows: Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam. That is, obeisance to the arhats, obeisance to the siddhas. Sorry.
Just a second, scroll up a little bit. To the verse, what is it? Because this part looks like in the Hindi book, it's to very end of the book. But here it is 40. What is the number? I'm trying to check to see.
The sloka is, Gatha is 49.
49.
In the commentary of the 49.
Hang on 1 second. I'm trying to see, because in the Hindi book, dhyan and all this is way at the end. Oh,
Yeah,
no, that's
correct.
It's okay. No
Okay,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah, they have up to 58 in the Hindi book. So hopefully that matches here too.
Yeah, obeisance to the
So, okay.
upadhyayas
So,
and obeisance to all sadhus in the universe. This prayer in original consists of 35 words. Who are meant by the words Arhat, Siddhas, Acharyas, Upadhyayas, and Sadhus will appear from verses 50, 51, 52, 53, and 54 respectively. These 5 classes of beings who are to be revered are known as Pancham Parmeshthis, the 5 supreme beings. Instead of the full mantra, one may utter Arihanta Siddha Ayarya Uvajjaya Sahu, which consists of 16 letters. Oh, the following mantras, each consisting of 6 letters, may also be uttered. Arihanta Siddha, Arihanta Sisa, or Om Namo Siddhanam. A mantra still shorter, consisting of 5 letters, is Asi A Usa, in which only the first letters of the word Arat, Siddh, Acharya Upadhyay, and Sadhu are taken, may also be used. Again, the following mantras, each consisting of 4 letters, may be employed. A, Arahant, Arhant, or A, Si, Sahu. These are, there are 3 mantras, each consisting of 2 letters, Siddha and Om Niha. Lastly, combine the first letter of the 5 words denoting the Panch Parmeshtis, we get a mantra of 1 letter, Om. Some say that A is also a mantra of 1 letter. These, therefore, are mantras consisting of 35, 16, 6, 5, 4, 2, and 1 letter respectively. These mantras should be uttered audibly or repeated mentally. Besides these mantras, one may utter or meditate on other mantras taught by one's spiritual preceptors. The commentator Brahmadeva says that examples of such mantras may be found in the work entitled Pancha Namaskara, consisting of 12,000 verses. Natachadu Gai.
So that's okay. We will just stop here with the 49 and we'll start with 50. So we'll have, 8 or 9 left to do. So basically, these mantras are not a way to reach the soul. They're more about you learn to focus. See, when you're chanting a mantra, what happens? Your focus becomes on chanting rather than going elsewhere. So your mind doesn't wander as much. Versus if you just sit quietly and try to be in your soul until you get the habit of it and you know what you're doing, it's not easy to meditate. So the mantras keep you focused on something other than the worldly things. And then once you practice and you become more aware, you get the practice of meditating, then you can actually meditate on what you really should. I've just forwarded this, somebody forwarded to me a clock which has Bara Bhavna details. And remember, we said Bara Bhavna is contemplation points. So, that's another way to meditate on different things. So, so the mantras are more to make you practice focusing, and then you focus on the right things that you should, which will help you become from vikalp to nirvikalp. So we can stop sharing, Bahubali. So, so everybody good with our plan of finishing the 8 or 9 gathas that are left? Then we'll go back and read some of the first chapter important commentaries. And then the class after that, we might just do Gandhars. So pick your topics. Next class, we'll also go over LCPA questions. Okay. So, सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप सहजानंदी शुद्ध स्वरूपी अविनाशी हूँ आत्म स्वरूप निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है इसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है Vandana Shata. Jai Jinendra. Ready?
Jai Jinendra.
I hope you feel better. I hope we didn't put you to sleep, Virajji. It's kind of hard to
No.
focus when you.
Yeah.